Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips to help you get started in your building adventures in Dune Awakening. First, you're going to want to have the construction tool on your hotbar somewhere, and that's what we're going to use. With the construction tool selected, you'll be presented with this menu, and this gives you access to favorites that you might use often, as well as selecting E will move you to utilities, fabricators, refineries, storage options, and back to favorites. If you press R, that'll change your set, and you can change that if you look at the menu up the top left there to decorations, Chome shelter pieces, Chome facility pieces, if you have it unlocked, Atreides pieces, and then eventually Harkonnen pieces. So getting started, you are going to be presented with this menu. As I said, we're going to change to utilities and have access to the sub-fief console. The first sub-fief console you get is essentially a base center point where you can access your power and fuel generation systems and base information. You will at a later point get access to the advanced sub-fief if you complete the tutorial stuff. And this gives you access to a larger base area to build, so a bit of a larger plot you can kind of see. The only thing here to be mindful of is you will now have to pay taxes every 2 weeks. That being said, you can expand the advanced sub-fief using an item called the staking unit, which you can build later on in the game, and that allows you to extend your plot outwards or also upwards with this advanced sub-fief. And if I access this sub-fief, you'll see it's got no power and no storm alerts, but it shows me the base area here, and obviously I can refuel generators once I set them up. Select R and change to the Chome shelter set. Once we have this one, we're going to go to structural and we're going to use some foundations. So the base needs some structural support, so you want some foundation pieces. We will start with the square. Now this is a little bit in the ground for me. I don't like this, so I might simply hold control, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, to raise this up a little bit till it's in a desired position. So we might put it there. Left clicking does a placement, so you can actually sort of see what it might look like. And we might be happy with that. And we're going to go ahead and hold left click to build that piece. We might put another one here in front of it. Build that piece. Another one here. And we might do another one here. Now this sub-fief is in the way. So we're going to select right click to move. Highlight the sub-fief. And now we can move this sub-fief up out of the way. Here is a building tip. If you go ahead and select demolish and you delete a foundation that this sub-fief is sitting on, it will, as you can see, remove the sub-fief. We have lost our land. So technically, someone could now come over and place a sub-fief down and claim all this buildable materials. We're going to make something a little bit nicer now. So let's maybe try and raise up this foundation. So put a bit of a higher foundation here, maybe something slightly into the cliffs. Get used to using the right click button a lot to cycle through your options, as it'll really help with destroying things and moving things around and trying things. Just always remember not to destroy the foundation the fief is sitting on. If you're like me, sometimes a safer spot to put it is on some rocks or something. And let's go and find ourselves the ramp. Now, this looks a little bit silly, but it'll come together quite nicely. So what we want to do, and what I find with ramps, is you want to come along to the wedge walls, find the triangle wall. So from here, we now have our little ramp. We can climb ourselves up into our base. And if you wanted, you could make this a little bit neater using these special incline railing segments. Maybe one more there. So now we have a bit of a nice access into the base with the sand bike. What you might notice here down the bottom are some flowers, and you can use a dew harvester to collect the water, which is really important to have access to water. We also have some more flowers around the side. Now if you place a foundation over this, you won't have access to them. And equally, I don't like to block like these sort of resources from other players. You never know when someone needs to quench their thirst in the heat of Arrakis. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our base around that as well. So let's go back to our building tool, select the roof option, and then we're going to come across to floor. And I tend to try to line up the floors, so as you can see the direction. Place that down. I will hold Alt to rotate it and then bring it back. Now we might also opt for a round piece, and we might want to rotate this. So let's rotate, and maybe rotate. And already this gives us kind of a nice little area to work with initially. Coming back to our walls, if we scroll to the end, so at the very end we have these circular pieces which are quite nice. Place the circular pieces down, and then you may want to emulate this and make this a little bit bigger at the top. Let's make it double the size, and then let's move into the roof section. We want the rounded roof for this part, and then we can move into the regular roof from there. Got some windows going on. I like to also incorporate sometimes the natural land on the rocks into my builds. So let's go ahead and place a wall there, and you can kind of see it's, if I do this, you can kind of see it's there. You can generally always find the foundation. So we'll come across, there we go, so we found it. So we kind of have a rough layout of what we want to play with the big sunroom, I should say. So now let's go ahead and put a roof on it and see if we can play with some of the roof sections. Maybe we do this for now. That's pretty good. Yep. There it is. There it is. Okay, that's looking good. And then we can use these angled roofs. And what I like to do here is we will go ahead and find it where it connects here. There it is right there. And you can rotate it, you can see, so rotate it, but we're going to go this way. And then same on this side, this way. So now we have a rough layout. All right. And this is just to show you all the different build pieces. I tend to like to make very big high ceilings in my bases just because it feels nice, but just to show you how everything connects together. From here we would use these covers. 1 cover, 2 cover, and you can have them face different ways for different looks and effects. For this section here, we would go back to our wedge walls. Select the wedge wall, rotate that holding Alt, wedge wall, and this one here would be the inverted version. So, and now the base is sealed. From here we might come outside, move our fief inside, and as I say, as a tip, where you can, see if you can put it on some rock so you don't accidentally destroy it, but you can also put it wherever you want, that's fine. So we might want some power in this base, place one of these down, and then we might want a fabricator in the base, place that down, select the fief, and I go refuel generators. It should power them up. There we go. We've got 4 days worth of power there. To add yourself some lighting, so I tend to stick to this chome wall light to begin with, and put them somewhere you're happy with, maybe a couple around the place. One of these down, one of these down, and one of these down. Move that into there. There we go, folks. We've got ourselves a little starter base going on, and that should give you a bit of an introduction on how to build. Different pieces you can use, especially with the shelter set, round pieces, flat pieces, square pieces, the different roofs we can sort of do, and that will give you hopefully some inspiration on what you can get started with. All right, as you play more with the building, eventually you'll be able to create something a bit more funky, and you'll be able to start to toy with different parts together, and you'll get access to more building parts as well. This is my solo base, so it's a bit of a work in progress still. But of course, I like to build with the facility and the shelter sets. I like to blend the wood with the metal and really create something that works for me, that I'm happy with. Of course, like I say, you'll get access to more different parts later on, and you'll be able to make something that works for you. So don't be afraid to try different things and use different build pieces. And as I say, have a look at other people's bases, see what you like, see what you don't like, and yeah, have some fun with it, guys. Thanks for watching.